So this prompts the question because
Okay.
the most obvious answer for most people is Xavier Woods is going to be the one to turn heel. He's pissed at Kofi Kingston for bringing in Odyssey Jones, and it looks like he's replacing him as his best buddy. But there are some people who are talking about what if we saw Kofi Kingston turn heel and have Odyssey Jones as somewhat of a, I don't know, a bodyguard or something like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you said you had a lot to say about this, so I'm very curious
I
to hear.
do. I do have a lot to say about this, and I'm probably gonna even mid look up notes about this because I am so passionate. Remember, Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
when I talked about this weeks ago that I am very invested in this as a Raw. Like I was,
Yes.
it was very good what they're doing. It you know made set like I saw the vision, and I could see it had legs. Well, guess what? Those legs are now grown. Okay, because
Mm.
it is one of the more interesting feuds on Raw. One, because it's the New Day. Like it's so positive power and everything. Like,
Mhm.
and then you have Karrion Cross, who basically is the face of evil at this point with the Final Testament, and you have them questioning like the Xavier Woods bringing in Odyssey Jones now. Is this gonna where is this gonna leave him? Even the stuff before that when you know what was it? It was a tag match, and he's like, "Oh no, or no, singles match." It's like, "Who's gonna face me?" Karrion Cross, and Xavier Woods about to step up to the plate, and Kofi Kingston said, "No, I'm gonna do it." And then there was
Mhm.
that little like, okay, that little look there from Xavier Woods. It's stuff like that that's been building, and if you haven't been following along, diligently like myself, then it's gonna go right over your head. And especially last night when Xavier was going to speak up to Karrion after he pretty much called him out for all the stuff you just said. And Kofi took the mic from him and ended with the, cliche new day rocks. New day rocks. And Xavier was not happy about that. Like these little things, it's gonna build to the point where we're going to see Xavier Woods turn heel at some point. It has happened not only with the New Day, like yeah, that's great for the details and whatnot following, but let's even go a little bit deeper. Let's go a little deeper into the layers because Karrion Cross has now turned every single person that he's feuded with heel immediately following. That's even better
How do you
storytelling.
how do you feel about Xavier Woods turning heel though? Because we kind of have talked about maybe the New Day shouldn't explore that just because we know they've been together for 10 years. And at the beginning, I don't know if many people remember when the New Day first came out, they were preachers and whatever. They were
Oh yeah, it
heels.
was awful.
They were
It was
heels.
awful, but they were
Um,
heels.
yeah, and so they had to shift, and they ended up becoming the most over good guys on the show every single week. They got their own cereal, and they got had a ton of merch, and that was for the most of the last 10 years. So for them to decide now to potentially turn someone heel, that's a big deal, and I don't know how it's
It is a
going to
big deal.
be received, honestly. Um, I think that people love the New Day, but I think a lot of people's favorite member, of course, was Big E because he was just so funny and so much more over the top. He was like a combination of Woods and Kofi, and so I think that's why people just were the most fascinated by him. So I think if someone like Xavier turns, it might not be as big of a deal, but it feels like it is still pretty significant for a guy that's been a babyface for 10 years to finally become the bad guy.
It is. However, he needs he needs this run. He needs a little bit of a singles run, and if it happens to be in a heel way, so be it. Because Xavier Woods is very talented.
Mhm.
Austin Creed, the person,
Mhm.
is very talented. And if you're not a WWE fan, but a wrestling fan, there's a difference. You'll remember him as Consequences Creed. in TNA.
Mhm.
Like, he was in the X division. He was competing, on big stages before that, not in a faction, not in a group, and doing a pretty good job of it. So what if it was multi-man matches? That's what the whole friggin' division was.
Yeah.
Like, he can, and especially now in his career, he doesn't have to win it. I'll stop there. I'll put my ceiling there. That he doesn't have to win a world title or a WWE title, but he at least has got to be in a match for it. I want to see Xavier Woods fight for the WWE Championship on a pay per view because he deserves it. He's been a guy that has done so much for the company, not only in the ring, but like the up, down, down stuff. It's very entertaining if you're a gamer. Go watch it. He needs to be rewarded, and the best compromise there is maybe you don't put the belt on him, but at least have him fight for it. You made him king of the ring already.
I assume that's not gonna happen for a while, just given the way that the world heavyweight title is right now, but
Oh yeah, I'm
he
saying like a
could
year away, but still,
he could
he needs a year to
still
build up.
be in the mix for, like, the Intercontinental or something, like, at some point.
He
Um,
hasn't won a singles. That's
yeah,
insane.
so
Because the
that
other's
might
scared.
be that might be
Maybe
the
that's it.
motivation behind this too, like, we already have seen Kofi, he's won singles titles, he became the champion, even if we
Kofi
don't have to
Mania,
talk about the details of how
the
that reign
ending.
went. But Xavier hasn't reached that. He hasn't been a singles champion. So it would make sense if he's like, all right, this is what I want to do because I mean, he's getting older. I assume he's close to 40. I'm not positive, but I assume so. So I wouldn't be surprised if a goal of his is to become a singles champion before he doesn't wrestle anymore. And I think the best way for him to accomplish that is by breaking out of this because he's probably going to be a far more compelling character on screen if he
Mhm.
is different than how we've become accustomed to seeing. Like if he's going to be the heel, he can feud with Kofi at first and then that can shift to somebody else. So yeah, I think that gives him the best shot at being successful. I think if he just tried to kind of like do it now, it doesn't make any sense for him to just break away from Kofi at this point and just be like, "Oh, I'm going to do my own thing." That wouldn't make any sense, but how they're building this up, it would make sense for him to finally be like, "All right, I can't
I
be with
gotta
you,"
do it.
or yeah, I'm pissed,
I gotta
whatever.
do it.
So, yeah,
I
exactly.
need it.